All right, y'all. Allow me to state for the record that I don't want to talk about this, but I feel compelled to talk about it because it was shoved in my face. And since this was shoved in my face, I'm now going to shove it in your face because that's my job. Okay, so this one's in the Daily Mail, but this is actually being reported in a number of different places. Joe Biden, 81 years old, says the key to his marriage is, quote, good sex. Joe Biden says the key to his marriage is good sex. They say how Joe infuriates Jill, his wife of 47 years, with very risque joke to staff about their private life, even though they aren't shy about PDA. Even after 47 years of marriage, the romance between President Joe Biden and Jill Biden is far from dead. From kisses before he boards Air Force One to date nights and him introducing himself as Jill's husband, the stress of the White House has showed no signs of straining their relationship. But in private, the president has revealed some very risque secrets about why their bond is so strong, much to his wife's annoyance. He infuriates wife Jill by joking that the key to their 47-year marriage is good sex. His racy comment has been revealed for the first time by Katie Rogers in her forthcoming book, American Woman, The Transformation of the Modern First Lady, from Hillary Clinton to Jill Biden. In an exclusive excerpt obtained by DailyMail.com, the president gives that marital advice to aides, much to his wife's chagrin, reports Rogers, a longtime White House reporter for the New York Times. Biden has long spoken of his love and devotion to his wife, saying it's more important to him than anything else. I'd rather be at home making love to my wife while my children are asleep, he said in 2006 when asked about running for the Democratic nomination in the next presidential election. 2 years later, he ultimately did make a run and lost to Barack Obama, taking the number 2 spot on that ticket instead. His spokesman at the time said Biden's comment illustrates that a White House bid is not an egotistical pursuit for him and that he is frankly totally in love with his wife. Rogers' book, out Tuesday, shines a spotlight on modern first ladies, blah, 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 blah. So we all got this fact jammed into our faces this past week, where I had to see 97 different headlines. Biden says the key to his marriage is good sex. Biden says the key to his marriage is good sex. Now, here's why this drives me crazy. By the way, God bless. Right? God bless. From one wife guy to another, there's no shame in being a wife guy. In fact, I would recommend being a wife guy. But we all understand and we all know why this story is coming out now and why people are talking about this now, right? We all understand. I don't need to explain that, do I? Well, the explanation is very simple. The whole narrative around Joe Biden at this point in time is, I don't know, man. Everybody seems to think he's too damn old. I mean, what was the recent poll? One said 86%, was it 83 or 86? Something in the 80s. They said he can't do a second term. He can't. He doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have it in him to do second term. It is not a coincidence that when that story is dominating the headlines and the conversation around Joe Biden, it's not a coincidence that the very next week, it's, you think our guy's old? Well, did you know he's still fucking? Did you know he loves himself some good pussy? He loves to beat it up. That's our boy. He's not 1,000 years old. He's not laying in bed at night and watching reruns of Murder, She Wrote. He's getting it on with his wife, bro. He loves fucking his wife. It is not a coincidence that this story comes out while the dominant narrative and discussion is he's too old, he doesn't have it in him, there's no vitality to him anymore. And then this is he's got a lot of vitality. He fucks a lot. Oh, God, come on, man. Come on, man. We all see through it. So it's so manipulative, right? It's so manipulative. And then they're going to try to find another way to act like, no, seriously, man, he's got, this is what they say. Oh, behind closed doors, he's really sharp and with it. This is what they say. Because obviously in public, he brings up people who died in 1996, like he talked to them yesterday. Right? He walks away from the podium, then wanders his way back to keep answering questions after he already shut everything down. He repeats himself. Like, he's got all these problems in public. Oh, but behind the scenes, he's totally with it. This is to try to dispel the notion he's too old. Bro, he fucks. He fucks, bro. Next, they're going to say, oh, he's picking up skateboarding? He's a big skateboarder. He skateboards. He's picking up a new hobby because he's got all this energy. And he's like, what should I do? I don't know. I'll pick up a new hobby, bro. I'll do skateboarding. Like, stop lying to us. But look, we'll end on this point, right? And I'll ask you, is it true? Is it true? Is he really laying the pipe? Now, as somebody pointed out on Twitter, if Hunter Biden is any indication of Joe Biden, then it's true. He's still laying the pipe, right? And the other thing is, let's be honest. You don't have to be young to do stuff like this. This is the most human thing in the world. And we all know there's a bunch of shriveled up 92-year-olds who, as long as they don't have to do too much movement, they're more than happy to engage in some of these activities, let's say. So it might be true, right? It might be true, but that says nothing to me. It reminds me of that movie. What was the movie about Stephen Hawking where, he's like paralyzed but he's brilliant mind and scientist and all this stuff. And then there's one part in the movie where, he's like sleeping with this woman and some people are like confused by that. And he's like, they're like, what, how's that possible? He's like, oh, that's a different bodily system that handles that stuff, the sex stuff. So I may be paralyzed from the waist down, but this is like a natural thing that still works, right? And that's the same thing when it comes to like old people doing it, right? It's like you might have no energy at all, but if you're just all about laying there and let the magic happen, let's say, it'll happen, right? It'll happen. So why are we even thinking about this? Why are we even talking about this? I don't want to think about Joe Biden getting it on. Neither do you. None of us do. And that's why I resent this story, is because the reason they're doing it is to try to be like, he's not old. He's not old. He's very young. He has a lot of vitality to him. I swear. He's still with it. He's still sharp. He's still doing back shots. Like, number one, I don't know if it's true. Number two, it's just manipulative to even bring this shit up, right? And here we are. It's almost kind of, remember that Trump moment where he had to say, my dick's not small? Remember that? He was like, they say, I never heard it before that I have small hands. They say small hands must mean small something else. I've never heard that before, but I assure you, there's no problem. There's no problem. That was him being like, bro, I got a big dick. And now we got Biden doing like, I'm taking this one for a ride every night. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Can we have a moratorium on any of these geriatric freaks talking about their sex life? Let's have a moratorium on it for all of our sanity. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.